it's Melissa from Melissa's Creations, and today we are making this adorable Party Pandas card. I did a challenge in my VIP group, and this was my submission for our sketch challenge. I will show you the actual challenge sketch on the screen here, and you can kind of compare and see how I did to this one. I love Party Pandas and I love how this card turned out. I can't wait to show you how I made it. Let's get started. All right, so we are going to switch the colors up today, and we're actually going to use real red for our card base, and then we're going to accent it with Whisper White. So I have a piece of real red cardstock here that measures 4 1/4 by 11, and we have scored it in the middle at 5 1/2. So I'm just going to fold that over and give that a crease with my bone folder. So here are the rest of the pieces I'm using on today's card. This is our Whisper White card mat, and it measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I have a scrap of Whisper White cardstock here that I'm going to use to cut out my panda. I have a small scrap of Whisper White to stamp my sentiment. Then I have a small piece of smoky slate cardstock. Now this piece measures 1/2 inch by 3 1/4 inches. That's an accent to go on top of our frame. And then I have a piece of real red cardstock here that I am going to use to cut our frame out for the front of our card. We're going to start by stamping on our scrap Whisper White pieces. I'm going to use the beautiful, fun little panda here that's just floating away with his balloon from the Party Pandas Celebration set. Remember, during Celebration, you can earn this set and many others for free with a qualifying purchase. So I'm going to bring in my acrylic block and mount him up. We're going to stamp him in our basic gray archival Stampin' pad. And remember to bring in your Stampin' Pierce mat or some type of a foam squishy surface so that you can make sure that you get a very nice image. Okay, so we're going to stamp him down, and we're going to be fussy cutting him out in a moment. I'm going to use my real red classic stamp pad to stamp my sentiment. Today we're using the high stamp. So grab that and our small block and mount that up. And while we have our real red out, we're going to give it a couple of squeezes so that we can get a small pool of ink up in the top of our lid. We're going to take a aqua painter and just drop a couple of droplets into the cap to make sure that you have it nice and wet. And then you're going to pick up a little bit of that gorgeous ink. We're just going to watercolor the balloon. So I'm just going to start on the left and kind of go back and forth, trying not to go over the balloon where I've already colored too much. I'm going to use my snips to get a banner cut on the end of my high sentiment here. So I'm just going to cut it right in the middle, and then I'm going to angle cut it from the corner up to the top of that cut in the middle. And we're going to fussy cut out our panda. We're going to be using this fun, dynamic, textured impressions embossing folder, Scattered Sequins, and we're going to emboss our Whisper White card mat for the front of our card. So I've removed the thin die adapter from my Big Shot platform, and I'm going to just put my embossing folder with my cardstock in it and one cutting plate on top. I'm not sandwiching this because that embossing folder is so thick, it won't go through my machine otherwise. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that through, And when it comes out, we have a gorgeous scattered sequins look on our cardstock. And while the Big Shot is still out, I'm going to put back on my thin die adapter and a cutting plate because we're going to be cutting out our frame from our real red scrap here. I'm using the Stitched Shapes framelits dies, and we're going to use the squares. So grab these out. We're going to use the largest and the second smallest. So we're going to put those in and try and line them up so that they're centered with each other. And we'll run those through. And here is our frame for the front of our card. And we also have a scrap piece that we can use on another project. All right, so we have our main pieces. Let's go ahead and start putting this fun card together. I'm going to start by using some fast fuse on the back of my card mat. And then I'm going to use some Stampin' dimensionals on the back of my frame. We're going to put that up close to the top. I'm trying to have an equal border at the top and both the left and right side of my cardstock here. Okay, now I'm going to put a little bit of fast fuse on my frame where I want my smoky slate accent strip to go. So we're going to put that on here. And I'm just leaving a teeny tiny strip of white right between my frame and my smoky slate strip. Now I can put down my sentiment. So I'm going to put a little bit of fast fuse on the back of that. And then we will get him to poke out towards the edge of the card like this. All right, now it's time to dress up that panda with a little bit of our basic black metallic thread. I'm going to put a little strip of fast fuse on the back of him, and then we can start looping our metallic thread. And what I like to do to hold that thread in place is just take a little bit of tear and tape, and we're just going to stick that right on the back. And that will help to hold all of that in place. Okay, now I'm just going to check my placement to see where I want him. And I want to make sure that I cover up the end of my little sentiment banner here. So it looks like that is going to be just perfect. So I can peel off the backing on that tear and tape and get him stuck down. Now I'm going to take a dimensional and I'm going to put it on the underside of my balloon so that it stands up and it doesn't sag down. So you just want to make sure that you get it on the card mat. Don't put it on the frame or else it'll pop up a little too much. So I'm just going to figure out where my balloon placement is and then stick down a dimensional right where it goes. And then pop it in place. And last but not least, a little bit of bling. Of course, we need to get some rhinestones on here. This is the old style. The new style does not come with the strips anymore, but as you know, I have oodles and oodles of these, so I want to get them used up. And we are getting close. This is almost gone. So I'm just going to pop a few in a couple of random places around the card. And there we are, creators. There is our super cute panda frame card. I hope you enjoyed this project today. This card was inspired by a sketch challenge that I have up in my VIP stamp lounge for my customers and downlines. Congratulations to the winner of that challenge. Their card I will feature on the screen right now. They did such a wonderful job, and I just love the detail and the time that they put into this project. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give the video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this card today. Do you prefer the Bermuda Bay or the Real Red version of this card? You can get all the supplies that you need on my website at melissascreations.com. Just click on Shop Now. Remember, Party Pandas is a celebration set, so the only way to get it is for free by placing a $50 order in the US on my site. You can also follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/mcreations and on Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest with the handle at mcreations. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!